And good Friday morning here in British Columbia. Hi, Leah. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, good wine gal Barb Wild coming to you live from Kelowna, British Columbia, heart of wine country. And I'm here with none other than Leah Spooner, who is heart of Ontario wine country, close to Prince Edward County. And Leah, I just read an article that said Prince Edward County is becoming the shishi poo poo destination for Torontonians for weekend getaways for wine and food. So you're in the right spot. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the amount of tourism that has boomed there in even just like the last decade is really remarkable. And we always knew it was this really special place, not just for wine, but sort of like wine culture and art culture. It's just a really cool place to be. So yeah, I mean, tourism's really high there now, which is great. Not great for hotel prices and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have more people discovering Prince Edward County wines.
Well, I can honestly say I was delighted when I had the chance to visit quite a few years ago now. My Canadian tour, wine tour, Canadian wine tour. Went to Prince Edward County, visited the stalactites and or whatever. There's the caves, the underground caves
Oh
that they
yeah.
have, and then went to Norman Hardy. Because the research said they had limestone in their soils. And I was like, oh my God, that I must go and try Pinot Noir and Chardonnay at Norman Hardy. Little did I know he was like kind of the super famous guy, and the wines were very expensive. But that was before all the trouble. And then the troubles passed and things are much improved. But also, I visited the Grange, and that was when I learned that in this very cold climate, we bury vines after
Mhm.
harvest to protect them over the winter. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
in a very cool place, and people could come and learn a lot about another way of looking at viticulture and amazing wines, like really, really.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
certainly unique. It's our coldest climate wine region that we have in Canada. But it also makes it really special. So I think that, like you said, they have these limestone soils there, which are really unique. There's a soil called Hillier Loam, which is exclusive to that region. And it
Mm.
really is, it just gives this extra minerality,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, for lack of a better
Mhm.
word, to the
Mhm.
wines.
Mhm.
But it's so unique and distinct compared to anywhere else in Canada or the world. Yeah.
Well, and these are things we need to talk about and we need to get people excited about because no one is going south of the border. So come and visit, whether
That's
it's the
right. Now is the time. Now is the
Yeah,
time to drink
whether it's the
these wines.
Okanagan or Prince
Yeah.
Edward County, uh, you know, yeah, yours to discover, people. Anyway, let's talk about wine because we have wine
Okay.
today. And
All right.
should we both share our
Yep.
bottles? Because I was super excited. Well, I'm always super excited about these guys. Oops.
Synchro mesh. So I actually had the winemaker actually sent me a bottle of their Riesling.
What
This was
vintage?
quite a few
Recently?
years ago. I feel like
Oh,
more than 5 years ago now, and I really, really loved it. I don't think I've tasted it since.
well, here's
Um,
here's the thing about Synchromesh. They do single vineyard blocks, and they have eight or 10 styles of Riesling, which
wow.
blows. He wears a t-shirt, Alan Dickinson, he wears a t-shirt that says powered by Riesling. It's like, I want one of those t-shirts because I love Riesling.
I love that. I know, when they can just hone in on a style too and
Totally. And own it. And own
yeah,
it, own it, own it. And it's been a bit of a tough go here, with the fires and then the death frost, you know.
right.
But anyway, so that's what I have. 2020 Synchromish Riesling, Longsview Vineyard, and that's Naramata Bench. So
Lovely. I brought the Rose Hall Run JCR Chardonnay 2022. The JCR vineyards are estate vineyards, and They're sort of seen as like the vineyards in for Rose Hall Run Estate. They
Oh,
really show the terroir, especially in the Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. So their line is something that I'm always tasting and also that's always in my cellar.
amazing. And so when we talk about these, so like I think the price point on Synchromesh, if I was to be honest, is probably somewhere between 28 and 32 for their white label bottles. And then they came out with this new grouping called Stormhaven and then they have black labels. So they've got like tiers. And now they also do Cab Franc, Merlot, and they've grown Cinsault. I don't know if the Cinsault is still alive and well because it was baby plants when the frost came through. But all right,
Huh,
let's pour.
that's cool. Okay, that's four.
And so 2020 is, we've got 5 years on this now, which is still baby for Riesling.
I remember the Riesling being very electric, really high
Electric
acidity, but
tension.
really nicely balanced. Yes, lots of
And,
tension.
and
Fantastic.
right, you know it.
Mhm.
Well, you have to come and you're gonna have to try them again because like they're
Yeah,
open.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the summer to be able to go and visit. Hmm. So,
Was that your Wines of BC cup?
did you get
I
one?
knew it. I do
Okay.
have one. It's actually on my desk.
It's beautiful. It's like this rose gold bottom and like it's big enough to hold like tea and it keeps it warm and like yeah, I'm super stoked. Uh,
Yeah,
I
I would say just a little sidebar. I would say my coffee is almost just as important to me as my wine. I'm a big coffee gal, so
yes.
love that they sent me that. Thanks,
Love
Wines of
that.
BC.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Wines at BC. Woohoo.
Anyways, back to the wine.
Back to the
Do you
wine.
wanna talk about what's in your glass a little bit?
So it has a beautiful lemon. I'm not gonna say gold, but it's the hue is a bit darker. A lot of people think Riesling is water white, and that's just not the case. It's had 5 years in the bottle, so I think that's maybe part of the story. The thing about this wine is it has beautiful aromas of stone fruit, a little hints of petrol. There's a nice mineral vein. But when you taste it and you get all that electricity and tension and acidity, then suddenly you get all of that flavor sweetness that comes up behind, but it then finishes like cleaning your palate. So it's like a bit of a trick, which is why I love Riesling because it just sets you up for the next bite of whatever you're having. Anyway, I think it's 56 grams per liter of sugar, which I love because I love
Yeah,
balance. I love balance.
yeah.
You're going to have that much acidity and it's dry. I just can't drink a lot of pucker power sizzlers like that. I just can't. So,
You,
I don't know
I'm
when
not
this,
sure if I
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just
Uh,
gonna say I'm not sure if I remembered if we talked about this in our last discussion, but to me, Naramata Bench for Riesling is one of the best Riesling regions in the world. I love the expressions of Riesling that come out of there. It's so ripe, but also so vibrant and acidic and energetic at the same time.
Mhm.
You don't get that balance like
In
everywhere
a
in the
lot
world.
of
Do you know what I mean?
places.
I
Yes,
love it
yes,
though. Yeah.
yes, yes. I would invite you. So Martin's Lane has a vineyard in Naramata Bench.
Okay.
That's Shane Munn is the winemaker. Martin's Lane is part of the Mission Hill, but it's quite steely, but it's still beautiful. They lean more into the mineral character, I find, of the wines. I'm in love with Tantalus Old Vines Riesling, and I have like many bottles, I just went through my inventory. It's like, oh my God, what are you going to do with all this Riesling? But anyway, many bottles of their Old Vines. I think it's like maybe 2018. I can't really remember, but they had like, anyway, this is the oldest Mosel clone. Tantalus is East Kelowna, Lakeshore, and that's the oldest clone. 21B, I think it's 21B, planted in 1978. So
Awesome.
the history, the old vines character, the beauty of less fruit but more concentration, it's real. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan there also. So if you come to visit, I'll take you because
Okay.
you gotta try.
Deal.
But it's so interesting. Sorry, we just did the Okanagan Wine Festival judging, and one of the top wine styles was a Riesling. Surprise! But I think
Really?
BC, yeah, BC just kicks it. And I don't think we should ever be apologizing for that or ashamed of that or anything. It was just
Right.
fantastic. Petrol notes. I was like, what? This is Germany. Like, I loved it so much. I was like, yeah, this is
So was there a large percentage of like the top 50 wines selected that were Riesling? Like more than any other grape, do you think?
no, no. See, because there's
Mm.
this whole idea that somehow Riesling is not, nobody likes Riesling, which is not true. Make more Riesling. But no, I
Hmm.
think in this province, we're trying to lean into Vitis vinifera varieties like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I think we have room for everything, but don't give up on Riesling. We've some of the oldest vines in the country, maybe, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so. But I love
Hmm.
Naramata Bench too. I could live there forever. Amen. Tell me
Love it.
about what you've got there.
Okay. So this one here is the 2022. It's held in French oak for 20 months. And I think approximately only half of that oak is new. Um,
Mm.
on the nose, it's a lot of stone fruit, but there's white flowers, but it's like really ripe stone fruit. I'd say like yellow apple and Anjou pear. And then the palate is a really lovely
Look
balance
at the
of
smile. Look at the
I
smile.
love this wine. Honestly, this is one of my favorite wines ever. I just love every time I have this wine, I love it. It ages so well too. But it's always nice to drink even right away. It always makes me happy. It's a happy wine. Um, yeah, so on the palate, there's also like that baked apple, but in like a fresh bread too. So it's this really like warming, cozy wine, but you're getting, lots of minerality in flavor and in texture. Um, and I mean, the acidity, just being in Prince Edward County, again, that's just like a core statement coming through all the wines is that vibrant acidity makes it just really beautiful and rounds it out.
Well, Chardonnay can get flabby and needs to
Mhm.
be lifted, in my humble opinion. And I love a sense
Definitely.
of that oak that's integrated. And I know you talked about that the last time we chatted, how you kind of look for oak integration and you look for that seamlessness
Yep.
of a
Yeah.
wine. I
Yeah, for
feel like
sure.
that's one of the characteristics of this one that you have.
Yeah, and so the winemakers here, Lee Baker and Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan's the founder of one of the founders of Rose Hot Run, actually. Um, so him and Lee Baker are both like barrel geeks. So they're really into barrel selection, um, which is really apparent in their winemaking. I mean, I have to say, like, they're nailing it all the time. They pick the perfect barrels to marry the fruit that they're using for that year in that grape. Um, yeah, and it just works perfectly, I think.
So are they Burgundy trained wine geeks?
Um, I'm not sure about Dan's background. I know he did a lot of stuff in Niagara, but I'm not sure what he did before that. Lee did study in Bourgogne, I believe. And I think, oh God, I hope he doesn't watch this. I think he also did,
It's okay.
I think he also did training in Australia already, as well. Or maybe that was just Nova Scotia before he came. I think he was in BC too. I feel
That he
like he's
gets
not very
around.
old. He's my age, but like, yeah, he's sort of been around. Yeah. And I know that he is definitely like favors Burgundy, um, as well, but I'm
Well,
happy
if
that
he,
he's in the county.
yeah,
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting him. I mean, at some point I'm gonna have to either have him come out here, do a Chardonnay event. Wouldn't that be fun? We could do a
Yeah.
showdown. We could do the Canadian
Yeah.
Chardonnay showdown.
That would be really fun.
CCC. It would be.
Yeah.
It would be because, we've got Checkmate, which is also part of the Martins Lane, Mission Hill group, and they consistently win these 100-point scores for Chardonnay, because this particular winery has 5 plots, very dedicated, Chardonnay and Merlot. That's it. And the carefulness of these racy, minerally, uh, delicately oak massaged, and then when you hover, you're like, I don't know where I am. Am I in Burgundy? Wouldn't that be, like it's amazing. It's amazing. We don't have a
Yeah.
lot of, we have people who like unoaked Chardonnay, so we do have a lot of that style, but it's definitely not Chablis either, right? So
Right.
it's tricky. I think it's tricky, especially when you're trying to like define where in the world are you and what kinds of wines do you make? Like we come from regions, both of us, I think, that are struggling to identify those characteristics, and not winery by winery, but region by region. And
Yeah.
I think it's a challenge because it's expensive, it's education, it's marketing, all that. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
we can help with our chatter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely been a debate. Um, so I love unoaked Chardonnay, and I especially love unoaked Chardonnay from the county. I
Oh,
kind of like anything unoaked from the county. I actually had this wine a little while ago. It's right here because I brought home a bottle. So it's from Sugarbush Vineyards, and it's a Cabernet Franc, and it's unoaked.
oh,
It's, I know. So probably the first unoaked Cabernet Franc that I've had from Canada for sure. Um,
hmm.
but here's the thing. So I think that the county is so special with its terroir that unoaked wines can be really great. Um, the Chardonnay are Chablis-esque. You know, they have such a mineral
Oh,
drive there that it makes them really special. But I have had wine experts that even have a higher wine education than me debate me on that. And they're like, well, I don't think the Prince Edward County wines are there yet. But I'm not convinced that they're tasting the same wines that I was tasting. I mean, really great producers. I've probably had two really amazing unoaked Chardonnay in Prince Edward County. And that's kind of what makes the region interesting too, is the winemakers are so different. So there are some winemakers there that are off the charts, and then there's other winemakers, um, that are making winemaking decisions not necessarily based on what the best outcome of the wine will be, but what's the best wine for the general public.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Sorry, that
And
was long-winded.
no, 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 but that's right. Like one of the tricks is that the work we have cut out for ourselves is how do we shepherd consumers towards wines that aren't commercially created. Like, do you want to
Yeah.
go to McDonald's or do you want to go to Weber's? And I don't know, maybe that's a bad example, but like real the real place at the vineyard with the real barrels they brought in and the hand selection and the hand work, and
Yeah.
then we only make, I don't know, 5,000 cases in total, and there's only 400 cases of that, and that's it. Like, that's it. And people don't understand pricing because they think the price means that it's good, and price
Yeah.
means it's rare. So, or what do you call it? Market demand, like supply and demand. We just
Yeah.
don't have a lot, so therefore the price has to be higher to slow down the uptake. Otherwise, we have no wine to sell all year. Like, that's just
That's right.
But consumers don't know that, you know?
Right.
And then the other side of it is their budget might not allow for it. So then what do? Half bottles?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
a little bit off topic, but to your point, we have amazing people in this country with experience from parts of the world kind of colliding here to give us some really cool expressions. And
Yeah.
so I'm all for wine.
Yeah. That's what I think is really great about Canadian wine, sort of just to like add to what you're saying, is that, we already have such a cultural, diverse population, and that
Yeah.
is really fed into the wineries, like the winery owners and the winemakers and the producers. It's like they have, like you can go into the Okanagan Valley and you'll go into any winery, and one winery be inspired. It can be like indigenous inspired, the other one can be like Portuguese inspired. And it's sort of like this melting pot of all these cultures, but in one area. I think
Mhm.
that's what makes a lot of our regions really special here.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think let's summarize our regions. I'm
Okay.
I'm going to say Okanagan Valley. Well, let's talk about actually maybe I should talk about Okanagan Falls because that's really the area that this wine is from. So Okanagan Valley is about 200 kilometers long, and right in the heart of Okanagan Valley is Okanagan Falls. And Okanagan Falls is where McIntyre Bluff sits. And if you remember the story about the Missoula floods and how this buildup and all of like 15,000 years ago, this glacial melt went through that area, and it's like a jagged rock sticks out, mountain sticks out here, and another jagged mountain sticks out there. And in this twist and turn is the area that you'll find some of the most amazing wineries in the province, in particular, Riesling and Saint Gromesh. Now, not all of the fruit that they use comes from those vineyards. They are sourcing fruit like Naramata Bench and other places. But Okanagan Falls and Saint-Gromesh in particular really rely on this like heat blanket that is created by the sun bouncing off these giant mountains of rock, like granite rock. And then it just kind of keeps everything warmer, you know, in the evenings, cool in the morning, but they face north south. Most vineyards face east west because the valley and the lakes run, down the center. So it's a very unique area. This is also where Meyer family, my favorite Pinot producer, is. My
Okay.
favorite bubble producer at Noble Ridge is there. Blue Mountain is there. Like this is a little hub, and it's not far from, Penticton, not far from Oliver. It's kind of like right in the middle. So anyway, maybe 20, I don't know, 20, 17 wineries. That's it. And the degree days, because of all the shadows and shading, is a little bit different than, the Black Sage Bench that's like 1,594 degree days, in a year. So yeah, Okanagan Falls, very special. They call it Heart of the Okanagan Valley, Heart of Wine Country. And check it out. They also have
Cool.
a website. So I hope I was
Cool.
succinct.
I'll put that, yeah, I'll definitely put it on my list next time I go. How did I miss that the last time I was there? I was in Penticton. I should have just
Well,
went.
Naramata Bench is like they're in that Penticton. That's 70 wineries, right? Like you just don't have
Yeah,
time.
I know. Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't have a ton of time the last time I was there, but I did very thoroughly enjoy the mid valley region. Yeah. So
And
the
you
next
should
time.
see, yeah, well, listen, you're going to need, a few days for Lake Country, a few days for East Kelowna, a few days for West Kelowna, a few days for Summerland, a few days for Naramata Bench, a few days for Culloden, a few days for Okanagan Falls. Like, honestly, you need a couple weeks. If
I
anybody,
know. I should make my trip one trip at the beginning of the summer and one trip at the end.
mm,
Get it all in.
Well, we could tie it in maybe with the Okanagan Wine Festival kicks off next Friday, and then they have another one in the fall. So think about that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a way to tie you in there, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, so that's Okanagan. That's the Okanagan, and it is absolutely beautiful. Blue skies, gorgeous lakes, light reflecting off the lake, lake moderation almost everywhere, but very cold. This has been a very mild winter, not a lot of snowpack, so everyone thinks we're already in drought, and we're very nervous about fires. Boo hoo! I know.
Yeah. I don't know about there, but I heard it's supposed to be like our summer here is supposed to be hotter than last summer.
Oh
And
no.
I had a wine glass out on my back deck last summer, and just the sun going through it burnt, like melted my patio furniture that it was on top of. That's how hot it was. You couldn't be outside for more than a minute without like physically burning. So I'm really nervous this summer. I don't know if you guys are supposed to get the same sort of weather there or not, but
Well, we
it's
usually have 2 weeks of 38 to 40-degree weather. That's pretty normal.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I've been watching Muskoka in Ontario because it's flooded. And I'm like, where's all the water coming from? So I guess Ontario had a really snowy winter in part.
No, yeah. Yeah,
Are you
everything's
still
flooding
digging
right now.
out?
No, I'm not, thank God. But I was actually last weekend was going to do a hike up Noir that I really enjoy doing. And then I was thinking like I can't even do that because the trails are going to
Aren't
be flooded still. So I can't even like dang. But I mean, I'm sure it'll go fast. So, I mean, it is really bad right now because we did get a ton of snow and it just like kept dumping and dumping. So, yeah, we'll see.
well, we are the opposite this year, which is very interesting. So we will be watching. Please don't drown. And because Prince Edward County, what's the lake there? Is that Lake Erie or Lake Huron?
That's Lake Ontario.
Oh, it is. Is it?
Yep.
Wow, Lake
Yeah.
Ontario's huge, honestly.
It is huge. Yeah.
Honestly, it's
It's
huge.
massive. Yeah.
In my youth, I remember driving across the country and getting to Lake Superior, and I was like, is this an ocean? It's like you can't see the other side. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I
Every
did
time
see
I put
moose.
up like pictures of wherever I am on Lake Ontario, because I go to all different kinds of beaches and like everywhere around it, like people think it's the ocean. I'm like, no, that's just our lake.
Yeah, but I love that part of Ontario. Like it might be on a lake, but it just feels like you have this beautiful horizon and gorgeous sunsets and yeah. I have the love of water. I'm a Cancer, I'm a crab, so for me being by
Uh,
the water is like very important. And
yeah.
everywhere I go, I can always see it. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's no wonder that it has such a huge effect on our wine regions here.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, and yes. So I don't know how you're doing for time, but shall we wrap up? Any
Sure.
final thoughts on the wine you're sipping? And do you know what the price is and alcohol and like where you can get it? And
So, yep. So this one here is the last I checked, it was around $36 a bottle,
okay.
which I find very reasonable for, the tier of this wine and the quality of it. Always. It's drinkable now, it's cellar worthy. It's 13% alcohol. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
around $36. You can get it at the LCBO or you can get it through the winery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
I do know that they're actually selling out of a lot of their wines um really fast. So if you want it, you have to grab it. I mean, all the Prince Edward County wineries and Niagara too, uh, which is great because of the tariff
Yeah, people.
season that we
Yeah,
had. There's a lot of people buying Canadian wine now, which
yeah,
is fantastic. So
yeah.
this is definitely one that you want to try.
Oh,
Definitely one of our best.
prices are going up. Slow down the
Yeah.
trickle, or whatever it is. Slow down what do you call it? It's when it's a run on something. It's a run on wine in Canada.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be amazing? We've got lots of wineries that have cellars full still. So this 2020 is probably not available, but I do have extra bottles. So if anybody's interested, they could reach out to me. Um, Synchromesh opens May the 1st. So I'm
Yay.
so excited this year. I'm definitely going, whether it's an opening party or just me having a party at Synchromesh.
Sometimes that's the best. I love tasting by
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I could have a lot of fun by myself. So it's ridiculous.
We'll say hi for me when you go.
I will. So it's
Okay.
absolutely lovely to see you, Aaliyah.
You as
And
well.
yeah, and so great to have this conversation, connecting wines across the country, Ontario, British Columbia. We didn't mention free our grapes, but please free our grapes. And there's a
Yes,
lot of
free the grapes.
conversation. Yeah, there's a lot of conversation here about DTC and allowing grapes to move, cases of wine to move from British Columbia to Ontario and vice versa. I think we can already get wines of Ontario. I just think British Columbia somehow is embargoed and they can't ship their wine. So who knows? I
Yeah.
don't want to be political, but I'm just hopeful that Canada gets its act together and that we can all celebrate with wine. And wouldn't it be fun to have one person in every province with the same bottle going, "Hey, this is Canada," you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, super cool.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers.
All right. I'm wishing you an excellent weekend. We will reconvene again and keep the conversation going. This was supposed to be winter whites. I hope people enjoyed the conversation about winter whites. Next time it might be rosé or
Oh, good idea.
Pinot Gris. I don't know. We'll have to discuss this. But if you have a recommendation, whoever's watching, please leave it in the comments below. All right. Nice to see you.
Thank you. You as
Have a
well.
good one. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.